VEDA day 22. Good morning, all you internet citizens out there. I see that some of you are actually watching these and occasionally gives me the thumbs up on the Facebook. Well, I appreciate that, but I would ask that you do two things. Number one, you hit the little subscribe button at the bottom here so that I can actually see that that you are watching. That would be number one. And number two, and this one's more a benefit for you, is tell me what you want to hear about in the comments below, and then doobly-doo, tell me what I should make a video about. And to be honest with you, there's so few of you watching right now that I will make a video about anything that you would like me to make a video about. The only caveat is that this is the time when I get to make them right now, so I will be making them during the walk. But if you want me to talk about any subject or go over anything, then I guarantee to you that I will make such a video, and I will make them in the order that they appear in the comments. So how about them apples? I'll admit that I have no idea what I'm going to talk about today on this morning walk, so I think I'm going to make it up as I go along. I think part of the reason why I have no idea what I'm going to talk about is that over the past day, my brain has been working hard on a work problem. You ever have that come up where there's some issue or problem, sorry, stumbled there, issue or problem, technical in nature I'm talking about, in which you're not quite sure what your approach is going to be, and so you mull it around, you go to bed thinking about it, sort of dream about the problem, or wake up in the middle of the night still thinking about that problem. Sometimes when that happens, I wake up and aha, there's the eureka moment. I know exactly how I'm going to resolve the issue. This was unfortunately not one of those mornings. For work, I lead a very large team of people, about 20 odd, doing programming, databases, and all sorts of other computer stuff, for those of you that don't care anymore about the details. But all of a sudden I'm going to get into the details. One of the things that we're attempting to do for the company I work for is build their first ever data warehouse. This is a solution that's sort of well underway at most larger businesses, you know, sort of multi-hundred to a million to upwards to $1 billion all have these sort of things, but ours does not yet, because frankly there hasn't ever been anyone historically that could have constructed this without spending much more money than the company would have liked, because in order to really construct a data warehouse in an OLAP cube for a firm that's going to work, you have to simultaneously understand the rather arcane area of database and OLAP theory, which I think I do now, but you also have to really understand the business model of the firm you're working for. I mean, obviously you collaborate with leaders in the firm when you're building something like a data warehouse, but this is a case where you really need someone driving this issue, this project, who understands the business model of the firm and what they're trying to measure, frankly, as well as the senior executives do themselves. Again, that would be me in this case as well. But you know, part of the problem now is that you know, once you make a whole bunch of promises about what a certain thing can deliver, well, then you got to, and there's the pressure to perform. You got to actually deliver them. And we have at the end of this month, on the last day of this month, the 30th, sort of major milestone. Basically, we need to have ingested all of the hours on time cards from multiple systems, and we need to have ingested them into an OLAP cube that presents them for analysis and allows us to do basic analytics of utilization. In other words, in various different slices and dices, what percentage of people's time we're spent doing various things. So the particular problem that I've been thinking about is how to properly define the work percentage as a calculated measure that then has to be stuck, or has to be calculated on the fly for all the various aggregations, because it is a weighted measure, an hour's weighted measure. And I mean, you might say, why it seems like such a trivial fact. Well, when you have, you know, something like 2,000 people working in 70 locations on something like 10,000 projects for several thousand clients in 4 different markets, doing lots of different, something like 9 different technical discipline work with innumerable sub-practices, that quite frankly the understanding of where people are spending their time is a complex and multifaceted question, and it's one that sort of standard reporting out of the financial system doesn't really do a good job of answering easily. And since, well, we're still the product of unmerged systems from acquisition, that makes it even worse, because the 2 systems don't, you know, use the same databases and refer to the same things in the same way. So this is sort of what I've been struggling with lately, and you know, I have a good team. I have 2 guys internally, and then we've brought on a pair of consultants, if you will. I mean, calling them the consultants, I'll just call them contract labor from a consulting firm, because we're really leading this process, and they're just doing the work. But yeah, we've spent $160,000 so far on this project, and so that's a fair hunk of change. And it's now 10 days before I have to deliver something, and I spent the better part of the weekend, or at least the better part of Sunday, taking a look at what had been produced so far and giving it a pretty thorough quality review. And there remain a lot of issues. There's lots of little tweaks, you know. I mean, what you kind of have to imagine this is, you take, you know, something like 4 or 5 million hours worked, and you imagine dumping them into a gigantic sieve, and they end up in innumerable small buckets, you know, bucketed by the day that they happened, by the employee who worked them, by the office that they were in, by the project that they were on, you know, by the technical discipline that was involved in the work, by the category by which we set targets, and by the kind of labor that it was as well. So it's got to bucket into all of these places, and so those buckets themselves have to be well defined, as does the algorithm that places the hours in the various places. So I would say it's about 60-70% there. So with 8 days left, I'm getting a little stressed, because, well, besides providing guidance, there's not a whole lot I can do. You don't want me opening up the development environment and starting to code myself. That would not be the right thing for me to be doing. So take lots of deep breaths and try to be ready with solutions to the business side problems, that the business side questions, I should say, that they come up with along the way. So sorry if that was a much more technical rant than normal, but you know what? This is my walk, and so I'm going to talk about what I want to. Have a great day, and be kind to one another. Bye.